Of course, my computer goes to sleep the moment I do that.
Wow.
Good day.
Good evening.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Impact Day.
Yeah. This is a good impact. I like this impact.
I thought it was a really fun show. Nothing too special. We got a lot of hype for Hard to Kill. And it accomplished what it needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that it was like a lot of the matches didn't make sense to me, but it was fun.
Yeah, I mean the six woman tag match was just everyone who was in the women's Ultimate X match. Karl versus Heath was a little weird, but that was pretty fun. Diana versus Mercedes was great. That was a great match.
It was a good match.
Um,
Um,
got Masha Slamovich's debut. I think full-time debut.
yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a great match just for being like a jobber match.
Yeah. Yeah. Jonah versus Jake something was pretty fun. We got a fantastic video package for Moose Morrissey and Matt Cardona. That was so good. That was like one of the best video packages we've seen in wrestling.
Yeah, that was dramatic as fuck.
Let's see. We got Macklin told that if he loses against Trey Miguel, he can't ever challenge for the X Division title as long as Trey is champion. Let's see, what else did we get? We got the Inspiration copying the Influences talk show to hype up for their tag team match. We got, for some reason, Ace Austin versus Madman Fulton, or Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Johnny Swinger and Hernandez. That did a good job showing that Ace and Fulton are actually a good tag team.
And Swinger a puss puss.
We got what?
So the Johnny Swinger was a puss puss because he left Hernandez in the ring.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't break up. But yeah, it was a very low stakes show, but it was fun. It's especially nice after last night's Dynamite and Wrestle Kingdom when like the stakes were through the roof. Kind of no consequence show is nice breath of fresh air.
A lot. It was almost like relaxing to watch. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed this episode a lot, actually.
Well, you want to go into the news?
Yeah, we got a little bit of news. Let's talk about the news. Let's discuss the news.
What news you got?
All right, what news do you want first? Let's talk about Jeff Cobb.
I like how you asked what I wanted and then just said what you're gonna give me.
So Jeff Cobb is injured. Sad news. Apparently he injured his knee at Wrestle Kingdom, which was interesting because he wasn't at the Osprey promos. Yeah. And he did not come out for Osprey.
I thought that was
and we were both
very weird whenever Will Ospreay was doing the backstage segments, or even when Aaron Henare and Great O'Khan were at Ospreay versus Okada, Cobb wasn't there.
Yeah.
So now we at least have an explanation.
Yeah, apparently he injured his knee during the six-man tag match that they had on the 4th, and then injured it worse against Naito on the 5th. Which stands to kind of question the methods that NJPW has for their time-filling purposes, but
yeah,
it's fun while it's fun until it's not fun, you know? But that sucks. Let's now talk about WWE. Apparently, WWE is going back to Saudi Arabia.
Is that a shock? I think they've still got more events under their deal.
Yeah, but not just going back to Saudi Arabia. Going back to Saudi Arabia on February 19th.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Like, basically,
So
practically tomorrow.
Maybe?
It says that no event is confirmed, but it looks like it falls in line with that.
Okay.
So that's another thing to think about. I don't know. Then we also have news that Walter is going to be making a 2.0 move full time. He has one last match against
Nathan Frazier.
Nathan Frazier. Thank you. I was like, I always get Nathan Frazier and Tyler Bate.
Really?
I in my head, like just the names. Even as I was like actively watching NXT UK, I got them confused. So, but they are going to have him fight Nathan Frazier for Walter's last stand, and then he's going to make.
Yeah, which brings up some questions of how he's going to be presented on 2.0. Will he be put in a singlet and, you know, look pedestrian the whole time? Like, he didn't look like Walter on Tuesday. He didn't have that giant presence that Walter brings. You know?
Yeah. It just... They diluted him without him even coming over yet.
And he was kind of NXT UK's biggest draw. You remove Walter, who do you have as a draw for NXT UK? It was like a big name. You got Mustache Mountain, maybe. But how many people know of Mustache Mountain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who else do you have?
You build new stars?
Maybe. Ilya's probably the biggest name.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
It
might mean that they might be considering folding NXT UK. They're pulling their biggest star out of it. I don't know.
Possible. I don't know if they would do that. But at the same time, Vince doesn't exactly seem like he's in the business of keeping people around, so.
Yeah.
And on that note, Samoa Joe was released. I'm not sure if it was like today or if it was yesterday, and Sean Ross Sapp only just found out today.
The news broke today about it.
Right, but what I'm saying is I don't know if he was released because like there were names that weren't said. But yeah, so Joe is released. God, I'm hoping that we'll see him wrestling again.
Which that brings up a Fightful Select article that I have that says all of the sources spoken to at the Performance Center regarding Samoa Joe believe he will return to the ring outside WWE. So that should be a very, very quick scoop for AEW. I know they've got a full roster, but Samoa Joe is a name that you really need to pick up. Imagine.
He'd go to Impact. That's home, baby.
Yeah, but I think I think AEW would want him, and I think they'd offer him a pay that he'll be happier with. But imagine Eddie Kingston and Samoa Joe. Imagine that feud. MJF and Samoa Joe. That didn't come in at all through the mic. Yeah.
But MJF would get crumpled.
Yeah. He'd get his fourth loss.
Yeah, I don't know. Sucks. How do you fire somebody twice?
How do you fuck up Samoa Joe? Even Renee.
Not just twice, but in terms of a 12-month span, you have fired this man twice in 1 year.
Yeah. Samoa Joe's somebody that's like easy to get right. I don't know how they've managed to fuck him up so many times. The dude was on the brink of fighting Brock Lesnar. And he should have won. I think he did fight him. It was for the Universal title. What? That didn't come through either. I don't know if you're not talking directly.
I don't know.
It, but,
I'm talking as close as I was when I was doing my audio test.
Yeah. I mean, fucking up Samoa Joe is literally like fucking up Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. But anyway.
Fucking shame. Anyways. We only have one piece of AEW news today. And that is that Rey Fenix is fine. He should be back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He just dislocated his arm apparently, which thank fucking God. I don't know how he does it.
Extract whatever his body is made out of and make like a super soldier serum.
Yeah, because that's he's got like the imperviousness of like a 7-year-old. It's like, you know how like 7-year-olds can like fall on their fucking head and like still be totally fine afterwards? That's Rey Fenix. That's all I can draw that to.
Alright, so that's all the posts you got? Or the news you got?
Yeah, that's all we got today.
Okay. Alright, so let's get into tonight's Impact. We started off with BTI, Raj Singh versus Juice Robinson. Fun match.
Yes. Fun fact, though. I forgot to take notes on this.
I had a feeling you did.
I was enjoying the match. I completely forgot that we take notes on BTI. But this was a super fun match. Raj had an upper hand for a lot longer than I thought he would. I don't know what the point of this match was, but he really got to show off a lot of his stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Juice ended up winning. After what was like a merciless fucking like carryover neck breaker over the knee of Raj. That like folded him in half basically. Pretty much the way that this match started was just Juice got some good strikes in and then got tripped up and sent into the lower buckle. And from there, Raj just fucking destroyed him. But it was nice to see Juice, just because I know that his whereabouts are kind of uncertain right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's still with Finlay, so.
Yeah, I think I think they've just thrown them against the Good Brothers too much to where if they're still in that tag title scene, it'll be a bit much.
I feel like they were the right options for getting the titles, and
I don't know.
I just don't understand why the Good Brothers had the fucking titles.
Cause they're the biggest name tag team. Super elite, they got the super elite rub. I mean, it should have been Chris Bay and Hikuleo. What?
Is Hikuleo still there?
As far as I know, he was. I think he was there in the last episode, so like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
But now with all the teams in this match, Hard to Kill. I don't even know, because VBD like just had it. Heath and Rhino like just got back together. I don't know what other tag teams there are. Ace and Fulton are just getting on their feet.
And Rich Swan, but they were also just challenging for
Right.
it. So I don't know. I don't think that this was a match to like kind of promote Finn Juice, just because it wasn't a tag match.
More for Raj Singh, if anything.
Yeah, which I thought this was great for a match where it wouldn't have made sense for Raj to win, but it made him look really good.
Yeah.
It was like sort of like a Drew McIntyre jobber match.
Get your shit in.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was really fun.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So after that, we had our first match of the main episode, which was Tasha Steelz and Chelsea Green, or Tasha Steelz, Chelsea Green, and Lady Frost versus Jordynne Grace, Rachel Ellering, and Rosemary.
Gymnastics I had to do to figure out who the fuck was in this match was absurd. Because I saw Tasha come out and I saw Savannah come out with her, so I was like, oh, Tasha and Savannah, cool. And then Chelsea came out and I was like, okay.
Listen to the announcer.
And then Lady Frost came out. I know. And I didn't. Also, it's very weird, by the way, to hear Matt Stryker knowing that Matt Stryker is no longer with the company.
Yeah. Same with like Mercedes seeing her knowing she's with AEW.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So we start with Tasha and Rachel. It pretty quickly goes to Lady Frost, who gets in. She's just ducking Ellering. Ellering ends up tossing her, but can't land a dropkick because Lady Frost dodges again. Then Tasha gets in, and Lady Frost was going to tag in Chelsea, but Tasha tagged in off of Lady Frost's back, making Chelsea like, the fuck. She's in versus Rosemary. There's some chops to Rosemary. Slows her down, but not quite enough. She kind of vibes on it for a little bit. She's like enjoying it. Rosemary then chokes Tasha out against the ropes. We get a springboard bulldog to Rosemary that hits the mark, but Rosemary kind of undertakers herself, comes back to life really quickly. We get Rachel in. This was one of my favorite spots, I think, in the whole match. Was she like went to go do her senton onto Tasha, but Tasha got the knees up. So Rachel kind of like faked her out, like, I'm not going to do that. And then she actually did get the senton after Tasha kind of like unfurled her legs. I thought that was cool. Yeah. I like seeing wrestlers look smart. Jordynne Grace finally gets in. I was also kind of confused why Jordynne Grace wasn't wearing the matching gear.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't have that tag team duality. But maybe it's because she's got the title?
That's the only reason I can think of. But she finally gets in, only for a second, really. Rosemary gets in, I think, pretty shortly after that. Tasha gets hit with a cutter by Rachel. Then she gets speared by Rosemary. Chelsea finally gets her ass in there. She gets a big boot to Rosemary, I think, after a whole match of frustration, because she's pissed off at this point. We get a moonsault onto the Field of Woman from Lady Frost once they've all gone ringside, and then a kill switch, I guess, to Rachel from Chelsea to end the match. That was nasty.
Kill switch looks so much better than Christian's.
Yeah, Christian's look soft as hell now.
Also, apparently at Raw, when they were like in the crowd, Kevin Owens at one point told Seth that he's a psychopath and that he loves him, and then he gave him a kiss on like the lips.
Let's get the good stuff.
Kissed him on the lips.
The cameras miss all the important shit.
Commercial.
Well, the camera still missed it. We could have gotten a replay.
Yeah, could have. All right. So after that, we had the fantastic video package between Moose Morrissey and Matt Cardona. Then we had a promo with Moose. Also, definitely fine. I think Impact might upload that video package. Definitely go watch that. Miriam just said, "Did you guys see what Impact just retweeted?" No. Oh.
Mark, don't tell me. I want to find out myself. I want to find out myself.
Miriam just told me. All right, I said in the chat.
Well, I can't see. I can't see the chat.
I guess I'll wait until you find it. So, did you find it? Rachel L rings out.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe she got injured in the match?
That's all I can think would happen, or would be the case.
I mean, good that Alicia's in it.
Yeah, can I say, like, I was actually really confused when Alicia wasn't part of it. Because she was the one who was, like, really pushing hard to the hoop for that. And Scott was like, you'll find out. She's like, please?
And then Scott said, psych.
He said, you found out.
Well,
that sucks. I hope she's fine.
But I'm excited to see Alicia in that match now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so then we have a promo featuring Moose. He says, triple threat match in 2 days. I step into the ring with 2 dangerous men. They're pissed off, which makes them more dangerous. Just imagine what I'm capable of doing, what I'm willing to do to keep the Impact World Championship. Any other champion would complain about sorry. My vision's just not good right now. About how the deck is stacked against them.
I'm blind.
I think so. How this match is triple threat or no DQ, but I'm looking forward to it. On that day, I prove to the world that I'm the greatest world champion in all of pro wrestling, the wrestling god, Moose. And then we get Jonah versus Jake something.
Righty, already. Didn't get a ton of notes for this. So Jake Something basically he clatters into Jonah to start the match. And he controls the match for a lot, not that long, but a lot longer than I thought he would. Jonah ends up lifting Jake up and over, but Jake lands on his feet, sends a shoulder to the gut of Jonah. I guess, like, kind of like a crossbody press to him. I don't know. He kind of, like, jumped and ran body slammed him, sort of like Jonah does.
A Thez press.
A what?
Yeah,
a Thez press.
That's what it's called.
Okay. Didn't know that.
What Stone Cold used to always do.
Oh, didn't know the name for it. But now I do. Thank you. But he hits that. However, doesn't matter. Jonah gets control of the match. Hits a jumping senton onto Jake and then a tsunami onto Jake to win the match. Would love to see Jake not jobbed out, but
yeah. But I mean, this match was an extended one for what it was. Um,
it was. You're right. I guess that's a fair point.
And all right, so after that match ended, Josh Alexander came out and attacked Jonah. He tries to get in the ankle lock, but security breaks him up. Jonah lays out security, gives 2 sentons to Josh, then goes under the apron for a table. Josh tries to fight back, but Jonah pins him against the corner, sets up the table, and sends Josh through it with a tsunami. Then we get a video package for Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo. And then we get Masha Slamovich versus Sandra Moon.
Didn't know her name going into this. I just wrote a girl. But there's a series of strikes right into a spinning back fist to Miss Moon. Then a French Corral lift to Moon, as well as what is it's a Northern Lights bomb apparently. But it's called a God in Heaven.
Oh, I love that.
I believe that is the name of the move. Unless that was just Matt Stryker waxing poetic for a moment. But she hits that. It's super fucking cool, fucking scary. And she wins. It's a banger of a match for a jobber match.
Although I think Matt Stryker has just exclaimed that before. God in Heaven. I think he said that with like big moves.
Well, we're gonna call it Masha's move for now. I'm just going with that.
Then we get a promo for Steve Macklin. He says, in 2 days, I finally get my one-on-one match at Hard to Kill. The man that has yet to be beaten or submitted. Scott wants to say no, and I've heard no so many damn times. I took action to my own hands. You went to Gail, and she said yes. She made the mistake of saying yes when it comes to Hard to Kill. It is tag 'em, bag 'em, and Gail Kim walks in. She says, did I overhear you? Did you say I made a mistake? In the match, there will be a winner and a loser. If you lose, you will never get another shot for the X Division title as long as Trey Miguel is champion. I'm hoping Macklin wins at Hard to Kill. He'd be a really good X Division champion.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really like Trey, so I'm happy to see the belt off of him. And I think that Macklin deserves something, like for his efforts, for lack of a better word.
So after that, we get an interview with Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green, or I guess Matt and Chelsea Cardona, which I think she's going by his last name now. Not in kayfabe. I don't think.
I would imagine. Pretty hard to change your name, I think, in kayfabe.
Chelsea said, I'm fine. I've been hit hard, but my worry here is that this is going to affect Matt going into the biggest night of his career. I blame Moose. He did exactly what he wanted. Cardona says she's right. I do blame Moose too. He's trying to get in my head. He doesn't realize that I will do anything to win the Impact World Championship. Chelsea says, Moose engineered the whole thing because Matt could be the Impact World Champion. The insults get to me. I'm sick of people calling him the underdog. You might be looking at the next Impact Wrestling power couple. And then after that, we get Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez with Mickie James on commentary.
Yeah, this was a hard match, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes looked incredible.
Deonna did too.
Yeah, Deonna comes out there wrestling in fucking jeans, and it makes me kind of crazy, like in a good way. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So we get a boot to the back of the neck of Mercedes, and then to the chest. Ray Walt ends up distracting the match just a little bit. This ends in like maybe the grossest move I've seen in a while. Deonna had like one foot pushing in on the shoulder of Mercedes and one foot pulling the other way. And then she like did like sort of like, you know, like the neck twist with like the feet or something like that. Like did that to like the fucking arm of Mercedes, and I was like,
We had
don't care
one
for that.
possibly
Don't care
broken
for that at
arm
all.
yesterday. We don't need another.
Yeah, I think after yesterday, I was like, joints. So God. Deanna gets a strong submission hold on Mercedes, but Mercedes hits her with some hard back elbows. There's a spine buster to Deanna. Both women spill out to ringside. Eventually, we get back in the ring. We're exchanging blows. This ends with a chop to Deanna's chest and then a DDT to Deanna. Mercedes hits the air raid crash, and my God, does it look like she has finally gotten it. But she hasn't. Deanna reverses the cover and throws Mercedes into a double underhook arm submission, thus making Mercedes tap the fuck out.
Yes, and that should be a good farewell for Mercedes to head over to AEW.
Yeah.
And a good lead-in for Deanna versus Mickey. So after that, we get All About I. The Inspiration's take on All About Me. With Jay Vidal as co-host. The Inspiration says, this Saturday at Hard to Kill, we will defend our titles. What a fitting name for them, The Influence, because they will be influenced by the Inspiration. The Influence then walks in. Daniil says, what is this? What kind of talk show is this? There's no guest or anything. And I think Cassie, or I think it was Jesse actually, says that's not how All About I works. Neil said, well, if you're going to rip off our show, do it right. You need a guest. They all start bickering. Tennille pulls on Billy's braids, says she's going to pull it out. Madison tries to rip the belt off of Cassie's waist. But then they're just like, this show is canceled. We are going. And that was that. Wait, what?
Sits down like it's been her show this whole time, and she's like, and that's all the time we have. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I don't vibe so much on Jay Vidal because he's very green with promos. He's really good in the ring, but his promos are
yeah. How to put it? His acting skills aren't that great. You can tell that like he's learned the lines, but he doesn't know how to say the lines, if that makes sense. Which, again, if you're green, that's gonna happen. But don't put him in a spot that the spotlight's on him, if that's gonna happen.
It also doesn't help that one of Impact's only male gay wrestlers is playing a very eccentric gay character, which he didn't come off that way in like when he debuted. I don't know if that was a decision made along the way, but
yeah, I don't know. And it's always one of those things too where I'm like, was it his choice? Was it creative's choice?
We don't know. But I guess he just joined, so there's still time. It's time for improvement.
Yeah, he's young too. I don't know how young he is, but he looks young as fuck.
All right. So then we had a promo for Josh Alexander. Not really a promo. He's just getting tended to by medical. And then we get Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Johnny Swinger and Hernandez. Hernandaddy.
Question. Why?
To give them TV time?
Why? Okay, sure, fine.
You know what? They probably wanted to get I mean, Ace Austin spent so much time in the singles division that they wanted to bring Ace and Fulton back into the tag scene. And they needed them to look good, have a good match. But they couldn't do it against somebody like Finjuice, which I think is the only other tag team.
see that being fair. Okay. So Ace and Fulton attack Swinger and Hernandez as they go to kind of vamp to the crowd after their walkout. Fulton ends up body slamming Swinger. We get a suplex to him. The team, or a suplex, by the way, from Ace to Swinger, which made me a little, didn't know he could do that. Fulton and Ace are, they've got, let me try this again. Fulton and Ace are hitting the quick tags pretty quick, they have quick tags. They looked strong. That's what I'm going to say here, because they don't know how to speak anymore, apparently. But yeah, they looked really good. They looked like they were functioning well. Fulton ends up lifting and choking out Swinger. Like, just lifting him like this. And poor Swinger, like, his eyes are fucking bulging. Austin ends up choking Swinger out a little bit more once the ref's not looking after Fulton goes to intimidate Hernandez. Hernandez gets in. Fulton has to save Ace from Hernandez before being suplexed, and then Ace repays the favor. He saves Fulton from Hernandez. I thought that was a really cute touch. I like that a lot. Then there's a double suplex to Ace and Fulton, which again was really cute because Hernandez had to take a couple steps forward because he knew he was too far back in the ring. And I thought that was nice because, like, Madman Fulton's a massive dude. You have to make room for that. But there's a springboard enziguri from Ace to Hernandez, and then an assisted splash from Austin to Hernandez for Ace and Fulton to win the match. And then it devolves a bit, if you want to talk about that.
I don't remember how it devolves.
So, first of all, I pointed this out to you. Fulton did some bullshit where he went over the top rope to get to the ringside area, but, like, head first. On purpose. They got 2 chairs, and then I think that they started going. They like, I think they went to do like kind of almost like, I think a concerto sort of thing, but like on his arm, I think. And the entire time they were setting up for this move, Hernandez is like laying there prone while Swinger is like backing up the ramp, like, oh my god, dealing with this. It's like, oh, okay. It's your best friend, buddy. So we'll see how that pays off next week, I guess.
Hopefully, we make this a little feud. Have a non-title feud in the tag scene. So after that, we get an interview with Morrissey. He says, "Last year when I came here, I was alone. No friends, no fans, no supporters. When you're at the top, everyone wants to be a supporter. When I hit rock bottom, I did it alone. When I came here, I didn't need anybody. The second I ended my alliance with Moose, I have an Impact World title match. Some of the fans want to hop on the bandwagon. I don't need any fair weather friends or fans or Moose. I'll be alone on Saturday. At the end of the night, I'll be the Impact World Champion, and I'll be alone, just how I like it." And then finally, Karl Anderson versus Heath, where whoever wins gets an advantage at the Team War or whatever on Saturday.
Core War?
Yeah, sure.
That's what it's called. Because it always throws me a little bit because Mickie James is hardcore country.
Oh, yeah.
And I think at one point they were like, get ready for hardcore war. And I was like, wait, that's not it.
Hardcore war.
War. And then it just goes right into Wardlow's fucking walkout.
Hardcore war. This is war.
Be perfect. I would love that. Wow, now I need a Wardlow and Mickie James tag team. Okay, so Heath gets in. He's in control with a number of strikes to. I didn't take any notes on this. Wow. He gets a number of strikes to Karl. Karl sends Heath arm first into the barricade, starts stomping on him a little bit. We get an arm submission on. What is his last name?
Who's?
Is it Heath Slater still?
They just call him Heath.
Oh. Okay. Well, that explains why I didn't know what his last name was right now. I know that he's on my WWE 2K22 team as well, but oops.
Wait, 2K22?
But
you're playing early?
2K20. Oh yeah, sorry. I have to tell you something.
Wow.
It's just as bad. Don't worry.
Spoilers.
Sorry. I know everybody was waiting. But we get a reverse inverted atomic drop to Karl and a heel kick. Doesn't really matter because Karl gets a cutter to Heath to win the match. It wasn't that good of a match, in my opinion, because they sent everybody away right in the beginning. Which I was like, oh.
I thought it was pretty fun because Karl Anderson is a really good singles wrestler. I wish he'd get more singles matches. Because he showed off a lot of his stuff in New Japan.
I just think that's funny that, like, wait, before I make this comment, let me look something up.
Okay.
Before somebody tells me
You're wrong.
Okay, cool. I think it's funny that, like, he spent so much time in New Japan, in Bullet Club, no less. And now he's, like, not accepted by Bullet Club at all, but he's still from Japan. It's like, no, you're not, sweetie. You're from fucking North Carolina. Calm
I
down.
wonder if he has dual citizenship.
Let's find out. I'm sure Wikipedia will tell us.
I don't think Wikipedia tells you that.
Well, we're going to find out. He lives in Ohio, so... Sorry, that is not my... Wikipedia told me this.
Knocking on Ohio?
Knocking on Ohio. Or am I? I've been to Ohio once in my life.
I've never been to Ohio. No.
Yeah?
No reason to go.
My stepdad's company, well, not his company, the company he worked for, is from Ohio. From Cleveland. Cleveland Cotton Products.
Home of Beach Break. The infamous beach city of Cleveland.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've seen those sunny beaches. Yeah. Which Mark has a big old prediction for that.
Oh, yeah. Because you know what wrestler, what hot free agent is from Cleveland? Mr. Jonathan Gargano.
Jonathan Garganathan.
They could have picked other beach cities. They're going with that one. All right, so that's the end of our recap.
Say something. His last name is Allegra. Karl Anderson. His full name is Chad Allegra.
Oh, is that why his name is Chad Too Bad? Wow.
Yes. Which I'm gonna be honest with you. If I could go back in time and like erase my memory, or if I could go erase my memory, I would erase my memory so that I could rewatch Southpaw Wrestling, just so I could have that again in my head.
Fair.
But I don't know, Chad Allegra is like actually kind of a cool name, I feel like.
That could result in like potential lawsuit.
Well, I'm sure that he wasn't allowed to use it.
Imagine being sued because your name is your last name is the same as a company or product. What?
There's no easy way to look that up on Google, but like I really do wonder like what would happen if you like say your last name's Chrysler, but like you're not like from the Chrysler family.
Go by a
like,
pseudonym.
But like it's your name. I don't know. I don't know, guys.
Look, there's a reason Karrion Kross like there couldn't be two crosses. Nikki had to change.
Saying that somebody would have to fight, or Mr. Chad would have to fight Allegra, and whoever wins gets to
Someone's
keep the
gotta
name. Okay.
change.
Well, Allegra, send your best fighter.
Why didn't Karl Anderson want to go by Chad Anderson? Why Karl? With a K. Chad Anderson, that's a good name. Even Chad Too Bad.
He looks like a Chad.
I don't know.
So he's 41. Something's in that Japan water, I think. Because Finn, Karl Anderson, they look like babies. I know where I'm going.
So before we get into the best of the night, if you have a question for a question segment, leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it after the best of the night. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment down below, and we will get to it in the next one. And if you're listening on Spotify, come join us at the live show, twitch.tv/a pinfall podcast, to chat with us live. All right, so now before we get to the best of the night, let's do our first top 10 wrestlers in pro wrestling for 2022. This is the first update, the very start of the list. You're not going to recognize a lot of the names on this list.
Excited.
Alright, so this is based on win-loss if you're new to the rankings, and we'll get a final update on 2021 at the Mike Romies this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at twitch.tv/a pinfall podcast. Alright, so number 10 from WWE. He's now the WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. Number 9 from Noah. I hope I pronounce this right. Naomichi Marufuji. Number 7 from DDT Pro Wrestling, Antonio Honda. Number 7 again from Noah, Hayata. I don't know what titles they have, but I know they have titles. I'll be better at this. From WWE, number 6, the United States champion, Damian Priest. Number 5, the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Number 4, again from Noah, Takashi Sugiura. Number 3, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, now the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada.
Prince.
Huh? Yeah.
Prince.
Number 2, the Never Openweight Champion and 1/3 of the Never Openweight Trios Championship, Evil. And finally, number 1, the new King of Pro Wrestling champion, Minoru Suzuki. Finally, Suzuki's in the top 10. I hope he stays there. What?
Remember we said that they're gonna regret giving him that trophy?
Yeah. He's like, you're not gonna have a roster when I'm done.
This is so. Hate that Brock's on it. Hate that Evil's on it.
Well, look, Evil retained and won a title.
May I say, there's a guy on there with the last name Honda. What did he have to do? Did he have to fight the people over at Honda? He was allowed to do that.
Maybe DDT is not high profile enough.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm excited to see where this list goes, now that we've got a lot of New Japan names on it. Alright, let's talk about promo of the night. I think it's that video package for the world title. That was so good. So damn good. Alright. I'm gonna hope you agreed because you didn't say anything. Or it didn't come through.
What's going on? This is gonna make me fucking crazy.
You probably have, like, a setting in Discord turned on that, like, suppresses your voice for noise.
Oh, wait. Well, because I did I'm in the Discord app now.
That might be doing it. I don't know. I would assume your settings stayed. But you never know.
Would it be echo
I have
cancellation?
it turned off. or on. But we can mess with it later. We don't need to worry about doing it now.
No.
It's like only the start of your sentence too.
There is something that I'll show you later, but deal with it then.
So let's talk about wrestler of the night. Let's see. I'm gonna give you 3 choices to pick. Deonna Purrazzo, Ace Austin, and Mercedes Martinez. Pick one to be wrestler of the night.
Mercedes.
Okay, I can vibe with Mercedes.
I'd hope. You chose her as one of them.
I did. All right, so let's talk about match of the night. As always, we go from the worst to the best match of the night. And we'll discuss the highest, the best. So, worst match of the night, in my opinion, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Johnny Swinger and Hernandez. It's not the worst because it's bad.
Really?
It was just like, it was a decent match. It was fine. You know? Nothing too special. Ace did a really good job.
Fair enough.
Next up, 4 out of 10, Masha Slamovich versus Sandra Moore. I'm so excited to see more of Masha. She's a great talent, and I hope she kills it.
Yeah, she's also super young.
Yeah. Next up, 5 out of 10, Karl Anderson versus Heath. It was decent. Wasn't anything special. And same thing with next, 5 out of 10, Jonah versus Jake something. It was a bit of fun, but there was no doubt that Jonah was gonna win. Next up,
Yeah,
another 5 out of 10, Raj Singh versus Juice Robinson. In the opposite way, this was a lot more competitive than we thought it would be. Still a lot of fun. Juice is a lot of fun to watch. Truly one of the best wrestlers right now in the tag division.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that we continue to see him. I hope that like whatever contract stuff that he's doing right now is like, you know, figured out.
So next up, 6 out of 10, the 6-woman tag match with Tasha, Chelsea, Lady Frost versus Jordan, Rachel, and Rosemary. This is a lot of fun. It just makes me really excited for their Ultimate X match.
Yeah. I mean, I was already excited, but like, I think that this is definitely like the icing on the cake at this point. Now we just need to put that candle in.
All right, and finally, my pick for match of the night with a 7 out of 10, Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez.
That's fair.
Two world-class talents.
Okay.
Yeah. Run it back. Promo of the night. Hype video for Moose versus Morrissey versus Cardona. Wrestler of the night, Mercedes Martinez. Match of the night, Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes Martinez. Liz, would you like to answer some questions?
Question is, Liz, why can't you upload the videos for our podcasts onto Spotify in due time? I don't have an answer.
Slacking.
If that's not the question, then I can
well, luckily,
answer something
you
for you.
don't have any questions that are like that right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
Instead, Miriam asked in chat, bug fly is a net. Which recently released wrestlers, either from WWE or Ring of Honor, would you like to see in Impact? Is Bray Wyatt recently released? Does that count? It's definitely him.
God. Bray, yeah. I think
it's like as opposed to like AEW.
Yeah, no. Get that. Obviously, I want Joe.
Samoa Joe. I'd prefer him more in AEW, to be honest.
Oh, let me look at my list of wrestlers that have been released.
Ring of Honor. I'd probably say mostly Bray, just because you can't bring him to AEW while Alistair's doing the House of Black, because that would be a weird mix of supernatural horror gimmicks, because I feel like Bray would do something like that wherever he goes. And you can't have Bray join the House of Black because they're two people that are like leaders. Neither of them could play second fiddle to another person.
I think two people that I would love to see. I think B-Fab would actually do really well in Impact. Yeah. And I think I'm being annoying with this one, but because she's doing decently enough in AEW right now, but the women's division in Impact is just like so hard. I'd love to see Marina Shafir. I think that she'd be like, I would love to see her like kind of like doing her own thing, floating around, like having like a little party in every domain. But I think that she would be really cool to see.
Lindsay Dorado.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like they don't have any signed luchadors, because Laredo Kid pops in every now and then. But signing Lindsay would be super cool. Maybe Lindsay and Grand Metalik. But at the very least, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Maybe Swerve too.
Swerve would be really cool. But yeah, I think I really want to see more women, just because like the women's division of it.
Yeah.
And they get to wrestle men. Like, what's better than that?
The thing is, like, I want to improve Impact's tag division. Their tag division kind of sucks. But now that they have Heath and Rhino back, it might be a little better. But still, I feel like they need more diversity in their tag teams. Bring in a couple luchadors.
Yeah, I can see that. I wish that they just, I don't know.
Wait.
I guess the women's division being so strong kind of comes at like the cost of something else.
What about Thatcher?
I was thinking about that, but there's not a ton of technical wrestlers there. There's not a ton of catch wrestlers. I think he'd do really well in Ring of Honor or going back to Germany.
I personally, I know you don't feel the same, but I like conflicting styles. Like, I like when a catch wrestler catches like a luchador out of the air and puts him in an ankle lock. Plus, imagine Thatcher versus Josh Alexander. Or you bring in Thatcher and Birch as a tag team. You wouldn't like that?
Thatcher and Josh Alexander. No. Leave it at Thatcher and Alexander, because that's a dream match. But you know what's great? We're not going to know what Thatcher's doing until he does something.
He's on the phone.
Because he's a hermit.
Thatcher
would be really cool.
I'd probably say Lucha House Party or Timothy Thatcher. All right.
I would say I'm going to leave it at Marina Shafir.
Okay. Even though she's not... Oh, she is recently released from WWE, never mind. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, recently enough. In my opinion.
Maybe Tegan. Impact doesn't have enough, like vibrant women's wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like, Jordan Grace is one of them. Rachel Ellering, too. And then the inspiration's, like, very comic relief. But you need someone who could play both. I think Tegan would be a great option. All right, well, that's all the questions we have.
Yeah, that's fair.
Liz, would you like to close out the show?
Sure. If you tuned in tonight, thank you so much. And if you tuned in the future, thank you so much. Please join us on Saturday for the Mike Romies. We will be talking about awards and wrestlers. We'll be having fun. It'll be a laid back show. I'm gonna look hot.
So will I.
Yeah. So will Mark.
That we've got a lot on the card for Saturday. It's gonna be a fantastic show. I've been saying that a lot because it's true. It was great last year, and it'll be just as great this year. And that'll be happening at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Saturday. And we've got a huge lineup of awards to give out, so you won't want to miss it. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube is The Pinfall Podcast. Our Spotify is search The Pinfall Podcast. And watch us live at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. We're also on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And we'll see you all on Saturday for the Mike Romey Awards. The Mike Romies. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday.